Hi, welcome to these Organic Devotions, a weekly series of reflections emerging from life here on a small farmstead, in a life lived in pursuit of a very large sense of wonder and reverence and awe. Thanks for joining along. It's wheat planting season here on the farmstead. In our case, that means hard red winter wheat. There are other kinds of wheat, but hard red you plant in the fall and harvest in the early summer. Others plant different times and harvest at different times, but this works well for us. I'm embarrassed to say that until a relatively short time ago, I thought wheat was wheat and flour was flour. But as it turns out, there are all sorts of kinds and varieties with their own particular characteristics, like protein content and flavors. In our kitchen these days, we are grinding einkorn wheat and emmer wheat and red fife wheat, and of course, hard red winter wheat like we are growing. That mirrors my larger experience in the garden overall. I used to think, for example, that broccoli was broccoli and okra was okra. I had no idea until I started paging through seed catalogs that for virtually every vegetable there are dozens of varieties, in some cases hundreds. Since beginning my garden education, I've planted 5 varieties of okra alone: Clemson Spineless, Red Burgundy, Hill Country Red, Silver Queen, and Star of David. Each in its own way is a little different, which makes it, I think, special. But our culinary and nutritional pantry is diminishing. The Center for Biodiversity reports that in the last 100 years or so, something like 96% of the varieties once enjoyed have been lost. Just think of the things that your great-great-grandparents enjoyed that you and I will never taste. The attrition has occurred largely for economic reasons. Some varieties simply don't travel very well. Others have been lost in favor of ones that don't taste as well, perhaps, but produce much more prolifically. And if all that seems a little depressing, we can take some consolation in the fact that within those varieties remaining, there is still a wonderful diversity. Why, I've already ordered 7 different kinds of potatoes for next season, 10 different types of garlic, and I'm still making up my mind which of those elements of okra I want to choose. And I have not yet begun to think about the diversity of tomatoes that might find their way into the garden. But while I continue to open myself up to the range of possibilities in the garden, it does give me pause to think about the diversity of people with whom I surround myself. Oh, I could simply limit myself to one variety, but think of all the wondrous flavors and qualities that I would be missing out on. I think about the very beginning of things as recounted in the book of Genesis. Then God said, "Let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees of every kind on earth that bear fruit with the seed in it." And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed of every kind, and trees of every kind bearing fruit with the seed in it. And God saw that it was good. A few verses later, once humans had found their place alongside the rest of creation, God blessed them and told them, "See, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You'll have them for food. And every beast of the earth, and every bird of the air, and everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw everything that He had made, and indeed it was very good. And I think about that old Sunday school song, about how Jesus loves the little children of the world, all the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, all are precious in God's sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world, all the children, all the seeds, for this wide and wonderfully holy, wonderfully diverse garden that we live in. I would love to hear how you are tending the garden of your relationships. You can write me at organicdevotions@gmail.com. And until next week, taste something new. Bye-bye.